Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. Welcome to Take the Black Live, the only show on the internet where we talk about the things that the lamestream media won't discuss, like movies, TV, sci-fi, and fantasy. I am here. I am Dan Selcke of winteriscoming.net. I am here with Camila Servello. Thank you very much for coming on in place of our usual co-host, Daniel Roman, who I'm given to understand is having technical difficulties because so far as I can tell, he lives in a tree on a mountaintop and has an owl for a roommate.
Okay.
It's all good. Daniel, hope things are okay. Technical difficulties, it happens. Camilla, how are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing good. How are you?
Super. I mean, it's a little frantic here trying to get things ready. Thank you so much for filling in. It was very short.
Oh, you,
We like asked you like 5 minutes before this started if you could do this in place of Daniel.
yeah. No, it's cool. Look, it'll just happy to help.
I like your
Love
shirt.
it. What? Sorry.
I like your shirt.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it's a Barbie shirt.
Keeping it alive.
Never really played with Barbies much as a kid, more like destroy them, but I love the movie, so I had to get merch.
The movie had legs. So you made the weird Barbies when you were a kid?
Yes, all my Barbies are weird Barbies. My poor
That's
Barbie.
kind.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for coming on. And as usual, we have a stacked deck to deal through, if you will. And we often start on this show by visiting one or more of the seven kingdoms of Westeros, where things are always up-hopping. Camilla, you watched the first season of House of the Dragon, I'm guessing, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah. No, definitely didn't. No, I did like 7 times at this point.
Oh, perfect. So you were a fan?
I am a little bit of a fan of House of the Dragon. Yes, I love it. Just love
Lovely.
it.
I don't want to spoil because so often the show we'll every week we'll spoil something. We're kind of addicted to like the set report stuff. And we have an interesting one this week. By the way, hello, Martha. Hello, everyone in the audience. Thank you for joining us today on WiC Wednesday, as it's known. We have an interesting report from the set because I forget who revealed. I think it was Redanian Intelligence, who's this really good fan site, had a image from the set, which I don't know how anybody gets these, by the way. I am very jealous of how folk are getting these kind of pictures sent to them, who's taking them, who's leaking them. God bless, but I wish it was me. And they got sent this image where it's on the set of House of the Dragon season 2, and it's kind of a reference board in a makeup booth labeled undead, and then is kind of covered in reference images of zombie types. Now, thinking back to Game of Thrones days, that obviously rings a bell or two, because back then the whole threat was, oh no, the White Walkers are coming. Oh no, they have an army of zombies. Oh no, they're going to kill us all. Oh no, we better team up and try to take them down. But the rub is that in House of the Dragon, set over 100 years before Game of Thrones, during the Targaryen Civil War, known as the Dance of the Dragons, there were no undead to speak of. They don't enter into the story at all in George R. R. Martin's Fire and Blood. We don't see a single white. We don't see a single White Walker, spelled differently than white. Just FYI. So the question here is, if they are adapting Fire and Blood, if they are telling the story of House of the Dragon, then why would they need a reference board to show makeup artists how to make up the undead? Camilla, what do you think?
I am intrigued because it could mean that they're padding the story with whites, so they could potentially do like a flash forward or a flashback, or with the prophecy of the oh gosh, I forget the term in Valyrian, but that one prince prophecy. Maybe it could be like showing, yeah, the prince was promised. Thank you. It could be showing like just part of the undead and stuff. But also, I'm just looking at this thinking, people like to like stir the pot. What if this was like this? Can they actually confirm that this is from the set of House of the Dragon and not like a recycled image?
No, I mean, okay, so The source is Redanian Intelligence, which is a pretty reliable fan site. They're named after the Witcher Redanian Intelligence, which is like the Varys of the Witcher, more or less. And they're good. Like, I don't want to impinge the good name of Redanian Intelligence. They're pretty good. So no, we don't have proof. It's not like beyond shadow of doubt. This isn't the New York Times or anything. But I'm willing to go with it, at least talk about it on Take the Black, the single sport show on the internet. But no, it's not beyond shadow of a doubt or anything.
No, I honestly, they could be padding the story. They could be like doing flash forwards. They could be trying to add more like drama or something other than, oh, it's Targaryens. It's just Targaryens. It's just Targaryens. Like trying to bring it back. I don't know. What do you think? I don't like it.
I don't like it either. I'm glad you said that. As Philip Plus says, I wonder if the White's Night's Watch will be recurring across seasons. Ooh, Martha had an idea. I was thinking it was filming from Snow, the Jon Snow TV show, which your eyes went really big.
Yes.
I didn't think of that, actually.
Didn't either.
I probably not, because I figure I would have heard if they were making that. I mean, that would be that's a really good idea, though. Also, really quick, good joke from Philip. I heard Australians hated Barbie because it didn't come with shrimp.
That's a good
classic. That's a good one. But I'm going to assume it's for House of the Dragon. I don't think they're making Snow yet. Ooh, another one.
That would be cool.
Actually, everyone has really good ideas. Catherine Brown says it's making me think of the makeup from The King when he was dying of that leprosy type disease. He kind of looked like the undead. Maybe another character will suffer the same fate. That's a really good idea. Maybe it's labeled undead. But yeah, Viserys did look like he was a walking corpse man toward the end. But okay, assuming all these ideas, all these really good ideas I did not think of are not correct, which they could be, and kudos for you for being a better brain than me. I can see them putting some wights in the second season of House of the Dragon. My hope would be that it would be like a quick fan servicey moment. Like, I know we're visiting the Wall, which is already kind of fan servicey because we don't go to the Wall in the book. And I mean, it's fine. Okay, sure. We all like the Wall. We like the Night's Watch. We can have a little visit. I'm not going to get too mad about it. Maybe they're like, cut to some creepy zombies in the forest for like a thing at the fans, like, ee-hee-hee, remember this? Ee-hee-hee. I hope it's not more than that, though. I don't want like a kind of chopping up and adding to the story of Fire, but which is a very strong story, and they have such a good core. We don't need that. So my hope is that it's a little like wink. Or frankly, you guys are pretty inventive. So maybe it's one of your ideas. It was Philip Plus says might be a small random wight. Then the bodies are brought back to Castle Black. Afterwards, representatives to Cregan and Jace go up to the Wall. Oh, that's a good idea too.
Yeah,
so like the reason they're visiting.
Yeah, that would be cool.
As long as it's not like a new subplot involving the undead, I'm fine.
Yeah, I agree with
this minimum.
I don't like it. Like just the fact that that's there and that could like potentially.
It's creepy.
I don't like it. It's not in the story. Stop adding things. The story is great on its own. You don't need to add some wights on it. But
I agree. Like I'm okay with adding a few things. Like, it's
things are like within reach and makes sense. Yeah. It doesn't. In my opinion, it doesn't.
Oh no, I agree with you. Adaptations are tricky, like because it's so easy to kind of get too far afield of what you were doing, Like, and I don't know exactly where the line is between adapting something for a new medium, book to TV, and finessing it and switching it and changing it so it fits, and then over the line to why are you even bothering adapting this if you're just going to do your own thing. But I know it when I see it, and I feel like this might be it.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see, but I am pretty curious about that.
We'll have to wait and see. in 2024. There are also reports of like a scene where Daemon Targaryen sneaks into King's Landing, which they would have to do because they didn't set up the Massaria connection well enough, which is
No.
fine. They can do that. I'm just hoping for the best. I wonder if this is the kind of thing that like writers on set would have caught #strike, but I don't think so. I think it's all written beforehand.
Yeah.
They're gonna stop filming pretty quick, like the end of this month, and these strikes are still going on. I don't. So writers' strikes, the writer strike in particular, like I think their plan was like, we'll film what we have written, and then if we need to do rewrites or reshoots, we'll do them. And House of the Dragons is one of the few shows that's gotten away with still filming during this stuff because it had all these loopholes. But I think the strikes have been going on long enough that even shows like this are going to start to feel it when they can't do like rewrites, if they need to do rewrites for something. Which is just interesting because eventually that's going to start. I'm not looking forward to, but I sort of am when we really start feeling the effects of these strikes, which is coming around the corner any minute now.
Yeah, definitely. And especially, I was actually talking to someone else about this earlier. Apparently, broadcast TV is going to be suffering with that too. They don't think they're going to be able to release anything in the spring. So everything's going to be pushed back to fall, like for broadcast TV. And it's insane.
Is broadcast TV? I like only watch
like Grey's Anatomy and fancy things that normal people watch.
Right.
So it's,
they're just like not filming them at all, like new ones until they can. Is that the deal?
Yeah, not filming, and then because they're not able to wrap it up quick enough or whatever reason they gave, but it could be pushed until next fall, which is weird.
Weird.
So weird.
And then there's like the talk show stuff that's going on where I guess you don't need writers for talk shows. Just go on and just kind of ad lib. But if actors can't promote anything, it's a strange time.
It's weird.
Hopefully something happens. Philip asks, could post-production be done once the stuff that doesn't need rewrites while they wait for the strike to end the reshoot once needed? They'll try and figure it out, Philip. Everyone is going to try and make new solutions for this because we're really in kind of uncharted waters. It'll be fun. And finally, Ryan Watson says, ooh. Well, he quotes passages from the book that's about an event that'll happen in a few seasons' time, probably. Oh, if Daemon turns into the Night King.
Oh, sure. God, no.
Twist.
No. I don't need that in my life.
Probably not, but maybe. I mean, just type the fan fiction away. Get started on it. Be the change you want to see in the world. That's about all the House of Dragons stuff that we have for this week. Not a ton happening. They've gone beyond the curtain walls. Hopefully that will ramp back up. I'm sorry about. How do you feel about Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner's divorce?
I don't like the fact that apparently like his PR people are like trying to smear her a little and like paint her in the colors of a bad mom, and that doesn't sit well with me. And they got together when she was ridiculously young, and he's got like 7 years on her.
Yeah, about that. Yeah, it was like 70, and she was like 20. And she was young. It was a little odd. Yeah. Can I say something kind of controversial?
Yes.
Or at least controversial according to Twitter.
I love controversial.
We're pivoting briefly into relationship drama. So in other notable celebrity marriage news, Chris Evans and his bride, I just was curious. So they have like a 16-year age difference. Like he's 42, she's 26. And that was like, to me, it was on the edge of, is this weird? And I kind of thought that it was in the problematic range, but I checked on Twitter and the mood there seemed to be shut up, don't question love. So I didn't want to say anything too bad about it. But I don't know. It'd be different if they were like a 16-year age difference, but she was 35 and he was like, okay, if you're 35, yeah, do whatever you want. I don't know. If you're in your 20s, it's a 40-something-year-old. I feel like it's still a little dicey.
I agree with you, but I can't judge really just because I know people with not as big of a age gap, but with an age gap, and they met like well after the legal age and all of that. Like there was no ill intent there; it just happened, and in that case, like it doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
I don't know anything about them, honestly. I didn't even know he got married until I was told like a couple days ago, and I was like, oh, I guess there goes another one. So it's but I don't know, as long as they're happy and it's healthy and
Yes.
it doesn't paint Chris in a creepy light because he is like amazing. I'm okay with that.
So we think. I just want to give my opinion
Yeah.
on these complete random strangers I don't know, just so everybody knew what it was. I don't know.
Right.
I feel like I am entitled to raise an eyebrow.
Oh yeah.
Not
Yeah.
like not condemn it outright. It's not like I'm not like calling DCFS or anything. It's not like in the danger zone. But like I get to raise an eyebrow at 16-year age difference when one of the people is in their 20s. I get to do that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I just kind of tilt my head a little because I can't raise eyebrows really. So I just tilt my
I'm talking metaphorically. I can't do it either.
yeah.
I can't really do one. I can't do a whole.
I was just trying to be silly. But no, I also just kind of look at it sideways and I'm like, okay. All right.
I'm so glad you brought this up. Back to normal things, as Natalie E says, another really good point. The strikes will give us more international content next year, which is true. We'll probably get more foreign language series. There have been some good stuff out of Korea that's coming. Netflix has hit with like French series, German series, like Dark, and
Dark is cool.
Dark is hard to get my head around, but fun. But you know what? They're not out of stuff to air yet. For example, we're currently watching the new Star Wars television Disney Plus program, Star Wars Ahsoka. Now, I'm glad you're on for this, actually, because we come at this from two different angles. I've never watched the Clone Wars or Star Wars Rebels, which are the two animated series that kind of precede this new fancy live-action Star Wars show. And you not only have watched them, you are quite a big fan.
Especially Clone Wars. I adore the Clone Wars. Rebels was good. It wasn't a big fan of the first season, but then I'm glad I like kept going with it.
Sure.
But no, this I've always liked the show Ahsoka, and I've always said so, but I've had like my issues with it and have been pretty vocal about those. But especially with last night's episode, it was so nice. It's mostly like a nod to Rebels fans because you got Sabine, you got Hera, you got all these Rebels characters and like all this influence there. But last night was more of like a hey, Clone Wars fan, I see you. Here's a plate with delicious food in it that's Clone Wars related, and it was so good. Obviously still a flawed episode because of things, but I don't know if we're gonna spoil things or not on this.
Oh yeah, it's been out for a day. What made it such a Clone Wars throwback specifically? Just who guest starred?
Anakin. I was so impressed with Hayden Christensen in this movie. And it was essentially a movie. In this episode.
They showed it in theaters. You know that? They showed it in like movie theaters.
I know, I saw that. There was one in New York like showing, and I'm like, I want to go, but then I was like, maybe I don't because it's gonna be insanely long lines, which it was. But no, he totally redeemed himself from not that it was any of his doing because he was just following his script, just how bad Anakin was in the prequels, in my opinion. He was so good. He nailed it. He literally brought the essence of the Clone Wars Anakin that you don't get to see unless you watch the Clone Wars. The Anakin in Clone Wars was completely different. You actually had time to see his character develop. You had time to see his friendship and relationship with Obi-Wan grow and change and start to get a little and then go back to being good and all these things. And you get to see him with Padme and their relationship, and you get to see him with Ahsoka, and they have a very strong like older sibling, younger sibling rapport, and their chemistry is great. And he calls her Snips in the show, and the fact that he kept calling her Snips in Ahsoka, and we get to see him fight with her. We get to see, heck, we get to see baby Snips, like as a younger
like
Ahsoka.
Teenage Ahsoka, like all this like kind of
great.
flashback.
Oh, it was
Spirit Quest
well
sort of thing that's going on with Ahsoka in this one.
It was so well done. I love the fact that they just drop you in it, and I wasn't expecting it. I had to like pause a couple times and take a breather because that was just it was so nostalgic, and Clone Wars just means a lot to me as a show that I had to like take a minute to like compose myself because I am a very overly emotional being, as everyone knows. And it was hands down the best episode of any Star Wars show for me since Clone Wars ended. It was great.
A large claim.
It is. And I really like Andor too. So yeah, that's a really, really large claim.
I love The Mandalorian, the first season too. As Nicole asked, did they de-age Hayden Christensen? Something about him look kind of Uncanny Valley. Which, yeah, they didn't they? In those like battle things, he had like a little swoopy thing with the hair, and his kind of lines were faced out. I'm pretty sure they de-aged him. Yeah,
yeah.
And it wasn't perfection.
No, it wasn't perfect, but it was so much better than the end of episode 4.
It was Hello, Julie Davies. Yes. Although, just okay. So, my perspective, someone who hasn't seen either of those shows, I liked it. It's good. There's like a stillness to this show that is intriguing to me. Like it just kind of like sits and looks at things sometimes, like faces, landscapes, also a lot of action, but like a lot of stillness. I will say, as someone who didn't watch the Clone Wars or Rebels, it felt a little like I was, I don't know, like at a high school reunion for a class I wasn't a part of or something. Okay. Like, because they were just, I could tell it was obvious that like these references meant something, but I didn't know what the meaning was. Like, you know, like the way they like pause when young Ahsoka comes out, which is clearly significant, or like giant tentacle space whales. Like these must have been around before. Like I don't remember them from Return of the Jedi or whatever, but it's obvious they have some meaning. And the way like they zoom in, like, hey, Snips. I'm like, what is it? What is a Snips? So I do wonder how it plays. I think Nicole said that that they were enjoying it even though they haven't seen it, which I am too. I like it. I had a thought that, by the way, Julie says hello to you, Camila. Oh, Daniel's out today, Julie. He has technical difficulties because I think a moose ran into his router.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
I've been wondering whether the decision to follow up the first season of The Mandalorian, which was very new for Star Wars, with all of these continuations of the animated universe, because the other seasons of The Mandalorian basically did that because they brought in Bo-Katan Kryze, and they're kind of leading up to this confrontation with Thrawn. They brought in Ahsoka, and now she has her own show. I wonder if it's a no. I wonder if they're going to regret it down the line. I wonder if like Ahsoka shouldn't have been a 6-episode miniseries that they made instead of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. And then part of me still wants to be like on the planet of the Yodas right now, with the Mando finds baby Yoda's home, and it's somewhere we've never ever been, but instead it's kind of like pivoted back to the ruins of the Empire, the meeting Jedi characters who are going to be big in the plot again, meeting characters from Rebels. Thrawn's will be a big main new villain for like a bunch of different shows, and I feel like they may have stared newness in the face and then blinked and said, no, none of that. We're going to go back to what we know and continue what we know. But I don't know that yet because we haven't seen the rest of it. We haven't seen how this all looks when it's all done. Your face looks skeptical. But that is what I'm wondering might happen after it's all over and we look back at it and say, maybe not.
No, I mean, it is a really good point. And I think that they might have gotten just a little series happy. Oh, let's make a series about this character. Let's make a series about this character. Like, for instance, Book of Boba Fett should have been 2 episodes of the Mandalorian series.
Yes, it should have. What was that bullcrap? Okay,
it was fan service to those like obnoxious, Boba Fett like fans that just wanted him out of the Sarlacc pit. And now what? You know,
I forgot about that one.
They totally made him a good person, even though he's not. He's a bounty hunter. I actually was talking about this yesterday very passionately. But yes, anyway, Book of Boba Fett should not have been made.
No.
Kenobi was great because I love Obi-Wan, and at the same time, I hated it because it was a huge disappointment for me. I did not enjoy that show at all. It made me really sad, except for the scenes where Darth Vader just kicks butt, and it's amazing.
Sure. Always fun.
Of course. And that could have been a movie again, or a couple of episodes in Ahsoka, or like a flashback or something, even though it's not the same timeline. I don't know. They just got series happy. And you're right. Clone Wars and Rebels they should have tied things up, and not like the fact that things have spawned from it is cool. But at the same time, it's
cool
picking things up as you go. And we're supposed to just accept it or like enjoy it. Like, I don't know. I agree with you to a degree.
And I do like what they're doing. Like, I think someone said, let's see, that Natalie watched Clone Wars and Rebels. Ahsoka's kind of subdued compared to the animated shows, which, yeah, it does have like a subdued feeling. I don't really dislike the subdued feeling. I think it's kind of interesting and different, but it does. I just wonder if we're going to regret all this by the time it's over. But I don't know yet, so I'm going to keep going and see what happens and watch to the end. Although I will call it now. I'm going to call this now.
Okay.
The last episode of Ahsoka, the last 5 minutes, is going to be the reveal of Thrawn, the blue man. And he's going to like turn around dramatically. And the music's going to go up. And it's going to be really significant. And then it's going to fade away and say like, Thrawn will return in a movie in a year. And the whole series will have been set up. I have a bad feeling that's what's going to happen. And I think I'm right. But we'll see what happens in a few weeks.
You're not. I really hope you're not. I have been dying to see Thrawn on screen for years. And I'm sure myself and other people who, really enjoy the Grand Admiral and his existence, we would be not very happy, especially like I feeling kind of like strung along. Just, oh, hey, here's Thrawn. Here's Thrawn. Oh, you don't get him. You don't get him more than like 5 minutes. But I'm hoping that because we're in episode 5 out of
8.
So there's 3 episodes left.
There's time left, yeah.
He's either gonna show himself in 2 episodes, like on episode 7, and then this is what I'm hoping. That's 7. And then we'll get some sort of confrontation, some sort of like good amount of screen time for him and for Morgan and Beth and their plan and all of that.
Sure.
And what I'm really hoping doesn't happen, but just like you, I am 99.9 repeating % sure that this could very well happen. Repeating and it completely just make me lose my head over this. If Sabine gets Force abilities in the last 5 minutes of season 1, I am going to watch season 2 because she is not Force sensitive and she is just going to be forced, pun intended, force abilities just for the sake of the script. And I do not want that at all. Because she does not need Force powers. Sure, practice with a lightsaber all you want, but you do not need Force powers. You are not a Jedi character. You know what I mean? But I felt
then why is she training her? So sweet. By the way, Julie says that we keep freezing. We keep freezing? Dan's not even here. Daniel's the one who freezes.
He is. Like, it's sunny outside. Everything's nice. Nothing's wrong here.
Okay. Never mind. I'm being told it's fine. Okay. Everybody calm down. I mean, it's just even when Daniel's not here, there's still difficulties. Daniel, what? Oh,
It's the ghost of Daniel. He is
gotcha.
our first ghost.
We send our thoughts and prayers to Daniel as he wrestles with that bear or whatever he's doing. Camila, everybody out there, what else are you watching? What else are you reading? What else are you looking at in these days?
I watched One Piece, which I absolutely fell in love with. I can't praise it enough. It's so good. I absolutely love One Piece.
Really fun. It was such a fun time.
It was amazing. It was excellent. I watched that. I'm watching an anime called Jujutsu Kaisen, which
I've
is
heard of it.
Amazing. Yeah, it's very, very good. Definitely not for kids. It's like you fight these curses with sometimes curses or like curse abilities, and it has the best character ever, Gojo, and he's amazing. I like to say he's my anime husband, but that show is amazing. I'm watching that. I'm gonna look into Castlevania.
Yes.
Nocturne. Very excited about that. Love Castlevania. Very excited about the new series. I'm not reading anything because I don't have time to read. But I am playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3. It's a video game.
People love that game.
It is the best game to come out in a really long time. A really long time. And I've gladly spent about like 40 hours where I can like squeeze it, playing a campaign, and it's everything. That game is perfect. I'm a huge Dungeons and Dragons fan and player. And that's an amazing game for that kind of person.
I'll try to get around to it because everyone in my who I know tells me they love it to death. So I really got to try it out. I don't think I have a machine that can play it. I'll get one. Daniel, he won't admit it, but he thinks that he is the bee's knees when it comes to reading and books, and he thinks that everyone who doesn't read books is a Philistine. I'm reading. Oh no, it's not me. I'm normal. He's the antisocial one. And I'm reading a book called The Three Body Problem, which they're adapting, which the Game of Thrones guys, but if it was, they're adapting as a giant Netflix show, a giant sci-fi show. It's going to adapt in January. Really, really cool. Really, really interesting. Really, really kind of big-brained, technical sci-fi. Here's how quantum mechanics work. Most of it is like woo, but it's a fun read. I gotta talk about the Wheel of Time a sec. Are you interested in the Wheel of Time at all? The fantasy show on Amazon?
I haven't read it and I haven't watched it.
I would be curious to know what because I think it's worth watching, and I don't know if it's up your alley exactly, but I think it's good. So I think it's up most people's alleys. It's a big deal because this Wheel of Time is this big important book series that's been around for whatever, blah, 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 decades. The show's great, and it's airing its second season now. I'm really liking it a lot. The last episode was very solid. We got introduced to Lanfear, the evil, wicked sorceress woman who is back after thousands of years to seduce and conquer our lead character, Randall Thor, with her fabulous ways. And I've watched the next episode with the screeners, and she has like a great outfit that is worth the price of admission. Like just kind of very arch villainous, fabulous.
Right.
So I'm into her, and I'm into the show, and the show's good. And the show is good. I'm liking it. I hope people watch it on Friday. And I feel like it's catching on. Like last season was kind of a lot of the fans were saying things like boo and no, and you change things, and why did you do that? I'm not sure I've seen this before. It's really turned around this season where folks are really getting more on board and seem to like it a lot more and are more happy with it. I don't know if they just sat with it and got Stockholm syndrome, or they really are responding to positive changes. I like the first season, I like this one even more, and I'm glad the show is doing well because it's a big, important fantasy series, and I think they're doing a nice job with it. And if you actually have time in your schedule, I recommend it. But if you don't, then who cares? Do whatever you want.
No, I do.
I don't know in your life.
I've been wanting to watch it. I just haven't time to like sit down and watch something other than things that I would like to review. But I guess
I understand.
Wheel of Time too. But I'll check it out. It's on Amazon, you said?
Yeah, Amazon Prime Video.
Sweet.
I also got to weigh in on, because we got a couple commenters, both Julie and Nicole are watching The Winter King, which it was my fault. I told them to watch it because it's this adaptation of these books that I really grew up loving, The Warlord Chronicles by Bernard Cornwell. It's about King Arthur, and the books are great, and the show is a pretty big disappointment compared to the books.
Oh, that sucks.
It's fine. It's not awful. I think it's gotten better since it's gone along. I am liking it more as I watched more episodes. I thought the first one was really sucked. It sucked. But the second and third were better. I think it's a decent show about King Arthur, but it's not really, doesn't have anything that was unique about the books that I liked a lot. It's kind of like, I don't know why you would suck out all the unique things out of a book series to make another thing about King Arthur, like the 30,000 thing that everyone's seen before, instead of like doing something different with it. But they did, and I think it's fine. It could have been better, and that hurts me. It's by the same author who wrote the Last Kingdom books. Do you know the Last Kingdom at all on Netflix?
I have not watched it, but I know of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's good. It's solid. Or the Sharp series with Sean Bean from way long ago, where he played a guy in the Napoleon Wars. He does historical fiction, this guy, and he's really, really good. And he deserves respect.
Yeah. Just trying to be a smart butt and ask if Sean Bean dines in that show too.
I doubt it. I never read the Sharp series or watched the show. It was like in like the late 80s. It wasn't before my time.
Gotcha.
When he was like a young up and coming, like studly new actor on the block, and he was casting this thing. Maybe I'll get it on DVD sometime. But yeah, it's fine. I wish it was better. But it's fine. And that's about all that I'm watching. Nicole says we forgave you. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I talked it up so much. I think I'm pretty good. I also recommended Warrior, which is a show on Max, which I think is fantastic. I stick by that one. But The Winter King, I can't get them all right all the time.
It happens. I mean,
it happens.
It happens.
Any other thoughts, Camilla, about any of this stuff?
I did read one thing. I read the new Marvel comic book, the Scarlet Witch. What's the word? This one. 8. Number 8. It's about Loki and Scarlet Witch talking about romance. And that would be
do they get really
if it'd be I'm not gonna spoil this comic for you.
But does that mean that like canonically they could get together, and that means that Elizabeth Olsen and Tom Hiddleston could like make up in like 2027?
I would pay copious amount of money to see that happen on the screen.
Can I ask you this? Like in Marvel Comics, did they like draw the characters like the actors now because they're just so famous? Or are they still like their own thing?
They're still their own thing. Like, let me see. This is what Scarlet Witch looks like. And that's what Loki looks like.
Maybe just okay. I guess that's not really. I mean, they dress like them in the movies, so maybe that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah. Cool. They just dress them up in the movies to a certain degree, like them in the comic books, but
really quickly, a little tiny thing I'm watching. No one will care about this, but you and me. I mean, hopefully you do, because you're an anime person. I recently got into a heated nerd debate with a friend at a nice restaurant in real life over which version of Full Metal Alchemist was better, the original anime or the Brotherhood one.
I like the original.
I am. Oh, me too. Thank you. So much better. So much better.
Yes.
And just I reflected as I was having the argument, like, I can't believe this came up organically with my friends. Of course, this does. There's people I hang out with, and this is and these are the thoughts that I have normally just walking around. And so we're watching like the original anime over again just for fun because we kind of got inspired by that, and it's still good and it's still better.
It is good. It is better. I agree with you 100%.
Good. I feel like most folks say or at least people I talk to say that the Brotherhood is better, but I disagree.
I don't know. I think like there are certain aspects of it that could be better, but I just like the original because of the nostalgia, and it makes me think of like when I got into Fullmetal Alchemist and all that. Like I said, overly emotional being, so I attach emotion to everything, and I base things on
Star
emotion.
Blazers.
So, yeah, that's why I like that one. But I get it. I get into nerd heated discussions over Star Wars all the time, especially with like
Best
close
stuff.
friends and people I love, because they're wrong about things, and I just have to set them
Yeah.
straight.
Sometimes people are wrong. Like sometimes they're wrong and they need to be shown the light. Christian asked about the Star Blazers remake, which you do ask at least once a year. I'm sorry to inform you we have no new information. Nope, not a thing. Sorry about that. And I got to tell you, now that the strikes are on, I really do fear for a lot of smaller, lesser known shows. I fear for bigger shows. Like One Piece is a big hit. I don't know if it'll get renewed within this climate. It's in greater danger than it would be otherwise. But we'll see.
It doesn't, I think Netflix is going to lose a lot of people, like viewers, because they finally
always say that
something
though.
right. Well, they finally did something right with an anime adaptation, and it was incredibly well received worldwide. It's a fun show. It's refreshing, and all the stuff. If it doesn't get renewed,
why go on?
Horrible.
If they don't renew One Piece, I will set fire to the rain. That is my promise to you, everybody in the chat.
I love it.
All right, Camila, should we go on to the signature WiC News Lightning Round, where we flash through a bunch of 20-second stories and give our short opinions on the news of the day that we couldn't give our opinions on in the main body of the program?
Yes, let's do it.
I think we should. Okay. Didn't put these in any particular order. So, okay, I'm going to ask you this one first because I think this speaks to your expertise. Okay. So, I forget his name, but the creator of One Piece, whose name is...
Blah. I don't remember.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't remember.
Oh, okay, never mind. Sorry. Anyway, he has a firm no romance rule for any of the crew members on either his manga, his anime, and now the Netflix show. Yay or nay?
Yay, because there's so much more to life than romance at all times. Have friends, have best friends, hug your friends, treat them like family, friends. I love it. Doesn't complicate things as much.
Fair enough. We're on board. And you were well under 20 seconds. Kudos. Ask one of me. What's the next one?
All right. So Warner Brothers Discovery boss, David Zaslav, thinks Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and DC are underused as franchises. What do you say? Of
course he does. The job of these studio bosses is to run everything they have into the ground over and over until nobody likes it at all. They're making a Harry Potter TV show. DC, they've already run into the ground. Well, they never really got it off the ground, did they? They kind of like tried and then it kind of crashed. I'm fine with franchises, but you have to be careful. And I worry he won't be, but we'll see what happens. Perfect, as always. Great job, Dan. Okay. Camila, here's something you may not care about. There is a Godzilla TV show coming to Apple TV Plus called Monarch: Legacy of Monsters, starring Kurt Russell, John Goodman, and others. Does this interest you at all?
Take my money reluctantly. I mean, I love Godzilla. He is the best monster ever. But yeah, I'm gonna be watching it for sure. I love Godzilla. Yeah, awesome. Absolutely. I can't believe I haven't heard about this. I'm very disappointed in my friends who know I love Godzilla who didn't tell me about this.
Oh, like no one's talking about it, even though it's coming out like pretty quick. It's kind of weird. It's like one of those shows. Kind of, I don't know if in general they have awful marketers and over at Apple. They can afford it. Okay, sorry, we're going on. Hit me.
Okay. So the Goosebumps series will be premiering on Disney Plus and Hulu on October 13th.
I'm glad to get that because, okay, so I'm of a certain age where I grew up and I read like well over 100 Goosebumps books when I was a kid. I was in that age group. So will I watch this? Of course not. I have no interest in the Goosebumps series, but I do know what it is. R.L. Stein's classic horror series. And are there people who like the books and are of the right age to enjoy a show? I think they're all my age and they're too old. Okay. Oh, your kids will like it. Perfect.
My kids they're almost 7 and they love the movie. So I bet you they're going to be watching this.
Nice. I hope they love it.
Yeah.
All right. Camila, here is our old friend Jason Momoa. There's a trailer out for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, the sequel to the hugely successful first Aquaman movie, over $1 billion, coming out December 20th. Interested?
I am. I saw the teaser that came out like 4 days ago and it had Nicole Kidman in it, and I was like, yes, but then no Amber Heard, which is also a huge yes. I haven't seen the new trailer. I'll probably watch it after this.
Oh, it came out today, didn't it?
Yeah, it came out today.
Oh my God. Okay, I gotta go look at it. I gotta go look at it.
Yeah, I gotta look at it like as soon as this is done, I'm going to be watching it because I haven't had a chance to yet.
Good point.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my. Ooh, I don't know. Okay.
Oh, I love a show. Don't worry.
Okay. The series finale of Attack on Titan will air on November 4th. Finally.
More your area, but I do watch Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan is like, would you agree with me? Like the breakout anime series of the past 10 years, Attack on Titan?
No, I don't agree with you, but it is a big one.
Okay. What's the biggest?
I feel like Demon Slayer and Jujutsu are definitely.
You're right. But Attack on Titan is big. And I think it's maybe one of the more serious anime come out.
It is.
And I'm looking forward to seeing the end. I really am.
It's so serious.
And I couldn't go ahead, hit. Oh no, this is for you. Oh well, we're gonna do it. All right. Right-wing firebrand and legislator Lauren Boebert was escorted out of a performance of Beetlejuice the Musical for vaping, singing along, and causing a disturbance.
If you want to take this one, it's all yours if you were prepping for that one, because I haven't heard of this, but that is hilarious.
Oh, it's so funny. We'll just talk about it for 20 seconds. Apparently, also on the way out, she was like quoted as like giving classic, like the kind of, do you know who I am? I'm going to contact the mayor about this and stuff like that. Oh, it's funny. Just the image of her being like, just like in the aisle, like, Beetlejuice, then asked to leave. Oh, I can picture it right now.
That's hilarious. That's absolutely
pretty funny.
There is one that was skipped. There is one that was skipped.
There was?
A Harry Potter TV producer says the Max show can explore the books more deeply.
Go ahead.
Yay. I love the Harry Potter books. I don't love the writer, but I adore the books very, very much. There's a lot of good stuff in the books that wasn't like explored for the movies. So I would be happy with that, but we don't need a Harry Potter show. I'm sorry. We really don't.
Yeah, we don't.
Need a Harry Potter show. But that's just me.
We're gonna have a whole talk about that sometime. But yeah, I have complicated feelings. But you know what? I can't share them now because the show's over. Thank you so much for filling in, Camila. Our best wishes to Daniel. I hope you got that school of long-eyed pike out of your sink or whatever happened to distract you from this. We'll be back next week. We're back here every week. We're here on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, or 3 p.m. on the East Coast, 1 p.m. on the mountains, noon on the West Coast, and 5 a.m. in Australia, where Julie lives. But although next week we're going to be pushed back by a half hour because we have a meeting beforehand. So sorry about that. So it'll be 2:30 CST. Just add 30 minutes on all those things I just said. And that'll be that. We're also available in podcast form, wherever podcasts are available, be it Google Play, iTunes, or elsewhere. So join us next week. Thoughts and prayers to Daniel, and our best to Mrs. Boebert. Bye. See you then.